Yeah. What production equipment did you start out with when you first started producing? And now what's your current production and weapon of choice if it happens to be different?
Oh, I started out on the Korg DDM 110 drum machine. Bought it cash money from tips working at the commissary, bagging groceries and and that sort of thing. Literally counting ones out on a table. That was my first drum machine. I was the talent show DJ or beat maker. I'd make the beats for the talent show rappers in high school.
Oh, okay.
Started with that. Yeah, everybody come to my house. Go to Pat's house. Pat's got he's got a drum machine. Now I use primarily the MPC Live. Use the Korg Triton Extreme with that, and other stuff as well. But mainly the Live. I love the Live because of the fast workflow. I used to use the ASR 10 for years, but
okay, that's what's up. So, tell me about the first one. I can't remember what you said. The name of it was the Korg.
The Korg DDM 110. Yeah, is this a standard drum machine? Bass.
Was it a sampler? No,
it wasn't. It was a straight drum machine. Kick, snare, hi hat, hand claps. All that. The toms. They had pretty good presets given that period. That's like maybe mid '80s. I mean, it was actually a good drum machine. I mean, in terms of sound quality, but then I moved over to sampling later on, like a year or so after that. So
yeah, so you said you were on the ASR 10.
Yeah,
so that was what you were on after the first one.
Oh, it was a bunch in between, man. Like the S50, the Roland S50. Used that. Heck, I had a Roland 626. I've had a bunch of drum machines too. I mean, I Dr. Rhythm. But finally, I got to the S50. I used that in the studio. Then I got an ASR 10. I've also used the MPC 3000 in the studio back in the day. I rocked on the SP12.
I was just about to ask you, did you do the SP1200?
Yeah, I've used the SP1200. Yep,
oh,
that too. So I've used a bunch of different machines over the years.
That's awesome, man. Like
that 12-bit grit is real. Yeah,
I believe it. It's like I'm kind of newer to the production game. Like I started producing probably like in the early 2000s. So okay. I've been strictly software the whole time, but I've always been fascinated by the hardware, like, learning about, Primo and stuff, what they use and all that kind of stuff, the SP1200, MPC 3000, like Dillo used and stuff. So that's dope, man.
I love that 3000, man. That's probably one of my favorite. Probably that 3000 was my favorite, probably. That or the 12. I mean, I like the ASR too, but this something about that 3000, and it just has such punch and attack, man. Whew.
Yeah. So the MPC Live, I mean, do you see any similarities with that machine, even though it's newer to the MPC 3000?
Yeah, it that's why I like it. It has a certain bounce to it, even with the programming. It really helps the drum program. I love how the pads got a percussive bounce where it almost instinctively makes you, more syncopated and rhythmic program. Yeah. With the key bounce or the pad bounce versus like on the ASR 10, it's not quite as natural because it's not percussive. You're not striking. I love striking pads.
Right.
Because I'm a drummer. I mean, that's just natural for me to strike. I've been doing that since I was 5. So the strike a pad. I mean, I think it makes my programming funkier, to be honest.
Yeah. And so the pads are really sensitive and stuff. Like you get
you can do dynamics and stuff, kind of accents and stuff. That's what I love about the MPC. All of their samplers, that you can do that. You can accent, drum strikes when you program, especially programming drums and kicks and snares and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this: quantize or no quantize?
I typically don't, but I tend to program pretty rhythmically anyway, right? That's why they tend to have my beats have a certain swing to them, because I don't really do that.